Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on NBC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce the Earth Station Trek crew. Keith Johnson.
What you call silicate life, we call life.
Alan Seiler.
I feel like my brain is going to explode with science.
And Veronica Dashel.
Hi.
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 I think I heard that in the episode. One of them.
Yes, I'm totally putting the episode.
Wow, what a week this week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
we
took last week off for Dragon Con.
Yep.
And then now we come back on Star Trek Day. We got 2 Lower Decks episodes to talk about. So I hope everybody's got their talking shoes on.
Talking shoes. Well, I think first we need to address the big news of the week, of the day, of the
biggest
month,
thing that happened.
the past year.
Right.
Keith is back on Facebook.
He's back.
Finally!
Dude,
Over
so
2
let me tell you,
months.
I didn't see your post. When I got off work, I got in my car, I looked at my phone. The first notification, literally the first notification I saw was you liking one of my posts. And I thought, oh, Keith is liking posts.
Finally!
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Like I said on the group, it's the Star Trek Day miracle.
Right on.
Welcome back, Keith.
Thanks.
All
Okay,
right,
now we can talk about all that other stuff.
Yeah. We all went to Dragon Con. Well, Keith, you didn't make it to Dragon Con, but the rest of us went to Dragon Con.
Not
this
a
week.
bit. I didn't go participate in a blessed thing, and I'm depressed. But hey,
Aw.
We saw Alan there.
Yeah.
At the,
awesome.
like very end.
I know. Like the
Like
last thing we did on
Monday.
Monday, we
Yeah,
saw
it's so
Alan.
funny that Monday afternoon, in like getting ready to leave, I ran into so many people that I didn't see the whole weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you
It
have a
was
good time?
funny. It was funny because I was at the house. Since I was at the house, I had to stay in the house because I was having kitchen repair done. So since I was at the house, I kept hoping it would rain because that way I wouldn't feel so bad being in the house. But then I thought
Thanks a
about
lot.
everybody. I thought about everybody at Dragon Con. I thought, well, it would suck. if
You're
they-
the reason I slid down the stairs.
Oh, no. No.
Yikes.
Yeah. We actually walked into a river
Yeah.
in the street. And so
Yep.
we had all day Sunday, wet feet.
Yep.
Yes,
awesome.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple of different pairs of shoes though, so I had ones I could change into.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Life
smart.
lesson.
That's
Bring
smart.
extra socks, pants, shirts, underwear, Dragon
I
Con,
bring-
even if you're only going for a day. Doesn't matter.
Dude, I bring extra everything. When I came home, I had 2 suitcases. One of them I had my dirty clothes in, and one of them I had clean clothes that I had not even worn yet. So I double packed.
Wow.
Yeah, but hey, I was prepared. Anyway,
We were doing good just to make sure all of our puppets were where they're supposed
Yes.
to be.
I know. You had more important things to worry about
I know.
than me and my dumb shorts. And
Well, how did your panels go? You did some Star Trek panels.
I did 2. And one was Star Trek comics, which was interesting because I literally haven't read a Star Trek comic in decades. And there was no moderator assigned. So I ended up just, moderating. My 2 co-panelists, one had written a book about the history of Star Trek comics, and the other one had written 4 Star Trek comics in addition to novels and stuff. So it ended up being pretty good. The second
Alan was
one,
the moderator for this.
I was like, I have nothing to say. The last comic book I read had the gold key logo on it. So that dates me
Wow.
right there. And then the second one was called Writing About Star Trek. And 2 of the most impressively intelligent people I have ever met at a convention were on. So again, I'm totally outclassed, and I jumped in and moderated. But we had such an incredibly good audience for that one. Very small audience, but they had some just amazing questions and really intense discussion. And it turned out to be one of my highlights of the weekend.
Awesome. Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't see the thing I was most excited about was seeing the Strange New World cast, but every time they had an appearance conflicted with one of my mini panels. So I did not see them.
we got to see wow, I'm blanking on all of their names. Ethan Peck, I'm remembering his name.
Okay.
There's Anson
And-
Mount.
Anson Mount. We got to see those 2 a couple of the one time when we were walking around the Walk of Fame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
didn't see
saw-
any of their panels.
No, I saw the 3 of them on
No.
the Walk of Fame, and they just looked beautiful.
That's true. We didn't see any Star Trek panels this year. We went to
No, but
a Stargate panel. And
yeah,
that was
I
about
had
it.
my daughter there with me Friday and Saturday, so I was doing things with her.
Nice.
In addition to, we had like 6 events of our own that we were
Working the puppet table.
plus
Yeah, you guys were busy.
Yeah, and we did our first full-length adult-only show at Dragon Con. We've done a lot of like adult material for short pieces, and so we did a full show, and we actually exceeded capacity on the room.
Seriously?
And pulled people away from our show, which was the first time that's happened at Dragon Con. So
That's
that was
amazing.
Yeah.
Was it a late night show?
It was. It was like 10 p.m.
10:30.
10:30.
Oh,
Was it 10?
sweet.
I don't know when it was.
It was dark.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and we had a great crowd for the Brit Track show again, and we did the Puppet Slam, which went really well, and we had our other shows. We had a great time. Yeah, our shows all went. We had some technical difficulties over the course of the weekend. If you were at our Trek Track show, sorry. Our audio cues decided to all just randomly stop halfway through, and that was a show that has a lot of songs in it. And so
we played like a minute and a half of each of the
we struggled
2
through
and a
that
half
show.
to 3 minute songs.
Oh man.
Yeah, when your song unexpectedly stops and
then the audience goes, "Oh!"
I know.
I was like, "Oh, they wanted to hear more." I felt so good.
Right.
Yeah, always leave them wanting more. That's
There
my
you go.
strategy.
That's right.
No one knew that we were having issues though. They all thought it was okay.
Well,
Not all of them,
I think
but several people who came up to me, they were like, "That was a great show." I was like, "The audio cues didn't throw you off." They're like, "Oh, I thought that was part of the show."
Yeah, someone did say that. Hopefully, people won't hold it against us, and we'll still give us good ratings so we can come back. We did our best.
Yeah.
Yep. But that was really the show that was plagued with technical problems. But and then I wanted to say too, last year after Dragon Con, I was really raving about how the mask compliance, how impressed I was with everyone's mask compliance, and everyone was doing a great job last year at Dragon Con, and I'm not going to do that this year because the mask compliance was not there this year.
Not at all.
No,
except
but
for
it also
several of the track rooms. Several of the track rooms actually did enforce it.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, going into the hotels, going into most of the panel rooms, especially the big panel rooms, not at all.
Yeah.
All the panels that I was in, it was pretty well, followed, but only in the panels.
Right.
And for the most part in the common areas in the hotels, as far as the main hotels go. Like I was staying in the Sheraton, and there's not a lot of programming in the Sheraton, so there wasn't a lot of masking, but I didn't think it was too bad. Yeah. Now going to the dances, no, that was terrible. That was a bad idea, and I didn't want to stay long. That's okay.
Yeah, well, we still had a great Dragon Con. We had a great time.
Oh,
we made some great contacts there, and so we're it was fun. We'll be back again next year.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Well, we want to get it. What do we want to do first? Star Trek Day or Lower Deck?
Oh yeah, Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
Yes.
Happy Star Trek Day, everybody.
Yay!
Happy Star Trek Day.
So where do we want to start? What's the thing that's you're eager to talk about?
Picard.
Dude,
that trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a new
it
Titan.
Looks good.
Yeah. And the new Titan looks very Constitution class influenced.
Yes, it does.
It looks very old school, which
yes, it does.
I think Terry Metalis on Twitter has been calling it the Titan A. I don't know if it actually has an A or not, but he seems to imply that it's after the Titan that we're familiar with. So I don't know if maybe Starfleet just has gone for some retro styling.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen, I don't want to be the complainy guy, but I would love to have seen the Riker's Titan in live action.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I'm telling you, it looks spacey.
It does.
It doesn't look like we're farting around on Earth a lot or in the past a lot or in an alternate dimension or anything like that. We're doing space.
Yeah. I remember that's one of the things Patrick Stewart said today when he was talking on the stage was we are in space, and everyone went, yeah.
Awesome.
So
big news for Star Trek show.
I know, right? We're in space. That's great. I love it.
But
I noticed what you guys are saying. I noticed Terry Metalis is always tweeting and posting stuff. I know you're excited about something you work on, but he really, really, really seems excited about it.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like this whole thing is initiated by hang on. Mr. Faber.
Yay!
Happy Star Trek Day, Mr.
Happy
Faber.
All right, my favorite. Happy Star Trek Day.
It looks like the plot is initiated by Dr. Crusher.
Yeah.
Sending out the call, whatever it is that they're fighting, sending out the call to Picard.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back in season 1 when I don't remember the name of Picard's little butler guy, Jabon, something like that.
Yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, you need to get Riker and Worf and Geordi," and Picard's like, "No," and I'm like, "Yes."
I'm like, do you understand your audience?
Right. And so it was a great little scene in the trailer when Picard was saying to Riker, "I don't want to put you in danger," and Riker was like, "Since when?"
It's like
this is what we do.
Yeah,
that's the job, right?
Yeah.
I'm
excited for it.
Yeah,
and we pretty much got good shots of everybody except again Brent Spiner. So we still don't know what he's doing this season, which I'm very glad about. I don't want to know until I see him on screen for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
don't
like we'll
spoil
see it before then. They will.
They will.
No, they can't. No, please don't.
Okay, I'm just saying they probably will.
No, I don't want them to. Stop.
Do you think somehow there's yet another copy of Data's personality out there somewhere? Has backed up?
Yeah, maybe
something. I mean, it could be as easy as Data created a hologram once. You know, like who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Totally.
I mean, I feel like it's not going to be Eric Soong, or not Eric Soong.
No.
Alton Soong.
Yeah. It
It's
could be. Maybe it's Alton Brown.
It's an old new character, is what Dallas had said.
Right.
Maybe it's lore.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's lore.
I hope
not.
it was lore.
Yeah,
No.
I can do it. No Yosung and no lore. I can do without them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we got a date for it. It's February the 16th.
Yes.
So,
have you mapped out the dates yet to see if there's any break between Prodigy and that?
I haven't, but Prodigy said October 27th, and that's more than 10 weeks to February 16th.
That's true.
So, I don't know. Are we going to have a break in between, or are we going to have something else jumping in there?
Who knows?
Or is Prodigy going to go for a full season all at once?
Yeah, who knows what Prodigy's going to do? Maybe they'll do 5 episodes. Maybe they'll do 10.
Well,
maybe they've got 20. I don't know.
We should be getting 10 this round. I think that's what they said last time.
But last time we got 5 and 5.
No, I mean the last time that they said, about down the road, they said there would be all 10. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well,
who knows? I might be making stuff up.
And also things can change.
Yeah.
Matt Sweatman says, I feel like I missed something about it, but wasn't there another Soong type android at the end of Nemesis?
Well, it was B4.
Yeah.
But B4 was in a drawer last time we saw him.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe they get him out. Maybe
they open the drawer.
They jumpstart him.
Yeah. And the whole thing with B4 was his neural net was not quite as sophisticated as Data's and Lore's.
Right.
So there was a question of how much of Data's real personality would map onto him.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, though. They're finally doing the Star Trek Picard show that I would like to have seen from the beginning. And I know that's not to hate on everything else they've done, but I like that. I want to see my old Star Trek heroes getting together and going on space adventures.
Yeah.
And being heroes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we mentioned it, but we also saw some Prodigy. They had a Prodigy teaser.
Boy, that looks good.
Yeah, it does. Two Janeways.
The outrageous Okana. The older version of Okana.
That's crazy. That's crazy town right there.
Like they're just
they're pulling out stuff that you would never think of.
Trust me, I would never think of or even want to bring Okana back. So I'm just going to be open-minded about it.
Yeah. Who would ever think that that's a character that really deserves or needs to be brought back?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But Billy Campbell's a great actor. So
totally.
I'm excited to see him play a new version of Okana, with a new set of writers writing for him.
Absolutely.
He's not limited to what they did on the what is it, season 1 of Next Gen or season 2? I don't remember when it was.
I mean, that was 40 years ago or whatever. So that character would have changed and grown, and everybody looks different 40 years down the road.
He looks older and grizzled. He's got sort of like a beard with like speckled with gray or white.
Yeah.
And he's got the eye patch like he had on Lower Decks.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Okana.
Absolutely. And excited to see whatever it is that's happening with Murph.
Yeah.
Yeah, transformation. What's that all about, or something
I don't know. This is just as exciting as Delenn on Babylon 5. I got to see what hatches out of Murph.
Nice. Wow. That's a deep cut.
Not for us.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah, so we got a little a teaser sort of, it's like a clip or like a little promo for Lower Decks. Lower Decks.
Yeah, a little scene.
Yeah.
Matt Sweatman says Murph is a Pokemon. And Dan Leckie says hi from Scotland.
Hi,
hey, Dan Leckie, how's it going?
But the Pokemon that Murph looks like is Ditto, and Ditto doesn't evolve.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The people who like Pokemon do. So
hey, you're dropping references that we don't get. This is like the opposite.
By the way, Dan Lucky, thank you, because it must be midnight, 1 a.m. where you are.
Yeah.
In Scotland.
He's always like up at weird times and always jumping in our stuff, no matter what time of day it is in Scotland.
Yeah, because it's past midnight. It's past midnight in Greenwich. So thank you, Dan. That's cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. So anyway, where were we?
So Lower Decks, we got a little looks like maybe it's a fantasy sequence or something, or it might be a fantasy sequence, or it might be Transporter Clone Boimler showing up.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but let me tell you, that looks great. Those battle scenes look so well done.
I think the space shots on Lower Decks are the best ones on the series, on the franchise right now.
Right. Absolutely. Although I will say the ones that we saw in Picard look really good.
They do look good, but the modern shows have a tendency for it's sort of washed out, like the lights all seem like they bloom, and it's hard to see the details on the ships and things like that.
I agree.
The old days where the ships don't fly in slow-mo past the camera anymore. It wasn't slow-mo, but they don't have those, they don't arc past the camera like they used to.
Yeah.
All right, and then what else did we get? We got some news about Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, who would have predicted this?
Carol Kane is going to be on. She's going to be the new engineer,
chief engineer.
Yep,
she's
on Strange New Worlds.
Yep, she's the new Himmer.
Yep.
Basically. Well, she's not Himmer. I'm just saying.
No,
she's the chief engineer.
Right.
So yeah, Carol Kane. Holy smokes.
That's a big get.
That is.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if at the end of season 2 she died by jumping off a ship, and then that becomes a theme?
Every season, to that planet, she jumps off too, and lands on Himmer.
Yeah, every engineer every year dies that way.
A pile of them at the bottom of that cliff.
Oh, that's funny. Just a stack of them, just piled up.
And then Himmer comes crawling out of them.
He was alive the whole time.
I've been a Carol Kane fan for many years.
Oh yeah.
Since I saw maybe Scrooged was the first thing I saw her in.
Scrooged is the thing that I always associated with most because I watched that so much when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I watched Taxi on TV. And I watched The Princess Bride, but Scrooged was like a tradition in my house. It's
right. I saw her on Taxi, but I think it wasn't until Scrooged that I was like, who is this person and why is she so amazing?
She's great.
She is amazing. And so I've seen everything basically. Kimmy Schmidt, where she was just fantastic in.
Okay.
Oh, love it. Have you seen Kimmy Schmidt?
We've not watched all of Kimmy Schmidt. We started it. It's there's too many shows. It's one of those shows that we've started and we've not finished yet.
Yeah.
I've never seen Scrooge, but I saw her on The Princess Bride.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Scrooge.
You got to watch Scrooge.
It is so good.
So good.
It's so good.
She's fantastic in it.
Yes.
I keep getting bumped in the 1930s versions of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim and Charlie Brown Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So I've never seen Scrooge.
Yeah. Well, you should give Scrooge a try this year. It's great.
It's on the list.
Okay.
Elaine chimes in by saying,
hey,
I'm thinking fantasy because of the Romulan triplets that were commanding the ship. Sorry.
Could be.
Ship.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
And Dan says, I'm so glad Nicholas Meyer finally broke the news that the SETI Alpha 5 project is going to be a podcast, something he's known about for months but couldn't really talk about. Great to be able to speak about it now.
Yeah.
So I guess still nothing about Captain Proton. Come
Yeah.
on,
but I'm
man, I want my
but I'm
Captain
excited.
Proton.
Yeah, but I'm excited for them to make bigger pushes into audio, though. Audio drama, not just
Yeah, yeah.
audio books. And the setting up of 5 thing's been, when we've talked about it on the show before, with being podcasts, it's been around for a while. It's just not been official,
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's like he's talked about it, and they that came out back when they were registering the domain, and they registered it as a podcast, and they hadn't done
Right.
it previously.
Mhm.
But it's exciting. I'm excited to listen to it. I would love to have watched it, but it seems like a good they can't do everything as a TV show. You can't have
Yeah.
every idea as a TV show. So this opens up a lot of avenues
Yeah.
of doing audios, and you can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's a quicker production time.
Mhm.
It's lower cost production time, and it expands the possibilities of what you can do. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's great. It's a
Yeah.
smaller audience, but they'll
True.
still get plenty of people. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they don't have anything to worry about in that. But
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
totally.
Okay. So what are we leaving out?
Well, let's see.
I read something, and I have no idea if there's any truth to this. Because I've been out of touch for everything all week, but I read something where they keep talking about Kate Mulgrew might be being considered for a live action series. Does anybody know if there's any truth to that at all?
Well,
only-
she's been sort of drumming it up on Twitter a bit.
Yes,
And
right.
she has said that there's been talks, and she has said that, if you want the idea, give it support, let them know. And so she's been sort of fanning the flames of that a bit.
Yeah,
on
she
Twitter.
has. And very recently too, like within the last few days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
it seems like a lot of better possibility than it had previously. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a quote, and I don't remember the quote, but I saw something she said that made it sound like it was more than just a vaporware, as it were. That there was some serious talk about that. I think Kate Mulgrew could absolutely headline a show about.
Oh yeah,
she with her presence.
There's no question about that.
Yeah, I'd love to see something with her. I just think
me
that
too.
would be awesome.
And I don't think that she would be as reticent about going on space adventures. I know Patrick Stewart wanted to be Picard, but not have a Starfleet uniform, not go on space adventures. So I don't think that she has quite the same hangups about it that he does. I wouldn't necessarily want to see a show that just explores Janeway's psyche and backstory. I want the Star Trek heroes to. There's a crisis in space, and we need our Star Trek heroes. I want to see them out there having space adventures.
Exactly.
That's a wish. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Questions while we're talking about that real quick, because I haven't read a lot of books. Do y'all know, were there book treatments that dealt with Voyager when it got back to Earth, and specifically what happened to everybody when they just? I'm one of those people who, like, they say Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King had too many endings. I didn't think so, because it was from the book. I'm one of those people, I kind of like to see what happened afterward, and I always hate the fact that I didn't get to see a couple of episodes of when they got back to Earth. What specifically happened to them? The discussions about any of the Maquis going on trial, even though I know they pardoned them. What happened with, what was the deal with Seven? What was the deal with Harry seeing his family? So I just wondered if the books they can't do that now, I guess, because everybody's older. But I was just curious, was that ever handled in the books to give us the back story of what happened when Voyager got back to Earth?
Yeah, there was books about when they got back, but also there was a whole Voyager relaunch series where the Voyager leads a fleet back to the Delta Quadrant, and like Chakotay's a captain, and there's a new EMH and all this stuff. Yeah, there's a whole storyline there where there's a Voyager fleet that goes back to the Delta Quadrant.
That'd be something to watch, because as we know, the Voyager came back with the most advanced technology that the Federation had access to, because all that Borg technology and all kinds of stuff. And they probably tried to reverse engineer the quantum slipstream. Not that they ever seem to have gotten that to work yet.
Yeah,
but still a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I know Kirsten Beyer was big in those books. Like, she's big, like, as a writer, she's very involved with those books before she was in the live action TV shows.
Cool.
Dan points out that today is the first anniversary of Warp Factor Trek. So
hey, congratulations!
Happy anniversary!
Congratulations!
Yay!
And he wants to know how well we thought the Romulan makeup today was, and I guess that's from the live show.
That was
I have no idea.
It was our friend Giraffe.
Yeah.
Who helped us when we moderated that panel on Captain Picard week. Giraffe was and she actually came to Atlanta, and we were going to hang out with her. My daughter started throwing up in the car, so we didn't make it. We had to turn around and come back. But it was Giraffe from Strange New Pod, and she got picked out, and then she went up there, and they did makeup on her. I thought it looked fine. It doesn't. It looks like the new Romulan makeup and not the old Romulan makeup, which is fine.
Yeah.
But for a quickie makeup job, I think it's better than I could do.
Interesting. And Matt says Kate would do great headlining a show. I love Patrick Stewart, but man, does he look frail at times. Mulgrew wouldn't have that issue. I agree. Totally.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that was them playing that up with him, because at least on Star Trek Day today, he did not look that frail. He seemed very vigorous.
But he looks 80.
Yeah.
And he's older than Kate Mulgrew is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, his I think the main thing with Patrick Stewart too is he always had that incredible, powerful bass voice.
Mm-hmm.
His voice is weakened, which happens with age. So it doesn't boom like it used to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anything else from today that's all
and
the
I
stuff
haven't
that I've seen.
Yeah, and I haven't watched all of the Star Trek Day. We watched about half of it when we got home from work. But I'm a sucker for those things. I love the big Star Trek events. I love the big 30th anniversary one back in 1996. I love it when they just take clips for the intros and they'll have all the different Star Trek shows and they're going back and forth between all of them. I think it's fun. So I have a great time watching the Star Trek Day. So we're gonna finish it after we finish this. But it's a lot of fun. Oh, there was also a sort of short Discovery behind the scenes sort of. It was really just Wilson Cruz walking around, but the big thing is that Mary Wiseman was there on set filming.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh,
so
back.
Tilly's back.
Yeah, she's like, what we're filming today. So
for
she
however
was not
much.
just there to hang out at least.
Well, I don't think they would put her in if she wasn't in the show.
Well, I mean, maybe it's an episode. Maybe it
could be. Yeah, we don't know how much she's back, but
maybe it's the jumping off point for her new Starfleet Academy series.
We hope.
You heard it here first.
I would like I want to see her on Discovery more, though. I like her on Discovery.
Yeah,
and she's part of like the core of that crew.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Matt says Margarita Alley. I have no idea what that means.
That
was the thing from today.
Yeah, it's from the it's a section of the trailers where they were hanging out, and they call it Margarita Alley.
Oh, okay.
And
a costumer named it apparently. I don't remember her name, but they said her full name until Mary Wiseman was like, "Oh, she's gonna be so upset that we just said her full name on TV."
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, if you're listening on the audio podcast, we'll take a quick break right here and promote a fellow ESO Network podcast show. And then when we get back, we'll be talking about the last 2 episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks. So stay right there. And if you're watching with us live, then we're going to continue on and talk about Star Trek Lower Decks. Veronica, did you want to bring us on with a spoiler?
Whoop! Spoilers.
Wow.
You just do it loud enough and close up to the mic to mess with the levels so that I have to try to fix it later. You can't do a spoiler in a normal voice. You have to get up on the mic and make a loud sound.
Spoilers.
It's perfect. Spoilers. Nailed it. Yeah, we're talking about the last 2 episodes of Star Trek Lower Decks. And last week was it called Batless and Binox? Am I getting that right? And then this week's was Mining the Mind's Mines. I think I'm remembering that correctly.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. Martok.
Oh man.
Martok.
Yes.
We got an awful lot of Martok last week, which was amazing.
Well, it was brilliant too, because they even pointed out that it's not actual Martok. He didn't actually sit down and record this game. It's a Ferengi knockoff, and they have all those different expansions and things, and which makes perfect sense. You can do that with whoever. And I was really disappointed that when the episode was over, that I couldn't just go play this game.
I know. Why did they not have this game? This is an easy thing for them.
Yeah,
to
you
make.
should at least have a version of it available.
Yeah.
Where the clips from Martok, and you can play a little like D&D style Star Trek game. That's
absolutely
brilliant.
Yeah.
It was so cool because I never look ahead, read ahead, watch anything for the upcoming show. So I literally just turn it on and I'm surprised. And I had to go into the kitchen real quick, and I heard the voice like, "Hey, that's Martok." Then of course I saw the face, the meme with the one eye missing, and that's Martok. At first, because I wasn't paying attention, I didn't know it was a video game. I thought it was like, I don't know, I thought it was like a recruiting at like a
Mhm.
recruiting thing or something Martok had it done for the Klingon Academy or whatever they had, and then I realized it was a game. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That voice, J.G. Hertzler, you hear that voice,
Yeah.
and oh, you know who it is in 2 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was at Triclanta several years ago.
Mhm.
He was fantastic.
Super nice.
Yeah. But he was very much J.G. Hertzler.
So Matt Sweatman reminds us that there was a DVD game with Gowron back in the 90s. I remember that
Yep.
very well.
But it was on VHS.
Right.
Not DVD.
VHS. Wow.
Yep. We have 2 copies of that, I think.
Well, of course you do.
Okay.
I mean, whenever you find it, you have to buy it, obviously.
Right.
Let it sit there.
And
You never know when it's going to sit there forever, and then they're going to be like, this is trash.
Hmm.
You gotta buy
Right.
it.
Dan says Zephram Cochrane, Martok, and Leah Brahms. Who would like to guest return next?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh. Like if I could
But-
just pick somebody?
sure. Pick 'em.
Ooh, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
Come back to me.
Uh,
Pick Veronica. No, it's not. I'll go Armin Shimmerman.
Yes.
Oh, I'm 100% certain that he's going to show up in the DS9 episode.
He's got to.
Yes.
Exactly.
yeah.
I really also hope that Rom is in it as well.
Yeah.
It's
And
possible.
see if he's still Grand Negus.
Yeah, that's a good point because
Grand Negus with his seat at DS9.
Yeah, what has he done to the Ferengi Alliance now? How has that society changed? That'd be a good follow up.
I would love a continuation of the Ferengi storylines, not just in a jokey way, but I would love to see,
Yeah.
like you say, what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen them in Discovery. I would like a visit to Ferenginar and see what it's like now, what their society has
Because
evolved into.
The only
Mhm.
Ferengi we saw was very clearly male.
Right.
Yeah.
So far as we could tell, yeah.
As far as we could tell. So
But we got a great
are women
female
wearing clothes
Ferengi.
now?
We got a great female Ferengi on Prodigy.
We did,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
was wearing clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it was
that
chilly.
tells me that there was changes
It
happening.
could be, or she could be rogue, you know?
Exactly. And
So-
that's what I was taking it as.
Well, don't tell us, Dan. Oh, sorry. I was reading ahead on the comments.
Right. He knows
Yep,
exactly what happens in the DS9 episode.
Well, don't tell us.
Right.
We want to be surprised.
Yes.
Keith doesn't even watch trailers.
Exactly. we give him more information when we talk
Yeah.
about this stuff than he ever sees anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm always
Sorry,
in the show
Keith.
going. Yeah, I'm always sitting here in the show going, really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I always feel bad that we talk about
Veronica
this
does
stuff.
that for the episodes we've watched.
Ouch.
Oh, that's so true.
True. It's very true.
So
No,
what-
I loved the Batless and Binox episode. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
liked the whole subplot with the space elevator, and I love the subplot with Boimler getting hunted by the alien guy, and it was
Yeah.
just the whole thing. It was just a fantastic episode.
It really was. It was great fun.
I forget that was last week because we were so busy getting ready for our shows. We didn't watch that till Monday.
Yeah, we
Right.
just watched it
So,
this week.
so this week, both of them blended in my brain. I was like, wait, one of them was last week?
Right.
What?
And
Right.
I've talked before about I get up at like 5 a.m. or earlier to make sure I see Lower Decks, and I didn't even get to watch it until Monday. That's how busy I've been.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about the episode is, and Lower Decks, that we've all said this before, Lower Decks has done an incredible job of incorporating stuff from the other shows in a jokey, but at the same time kind of serious way, or it makes sense. And I love the cut about another one of those planets where people are kind of like half naked and health conscious and run around, a reference to that horrible episode Justice from TNG.
Right.
But I love the way they can take a horrible show like that and incorporate it to this episode. So it's like there's more than one planet like that in the galaxy.
Mhm.
Well, and I love that they tied Ransom into it at the end because
Yeah.
because we already know that Ransom's a big health conscious guy. He's a big
Yes.
he works out, he lifts. That's part of his character. So the fact that he's on this health conscious planet and it comes in handy makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
love
thought
the
it was
Star Trek 2009 references with the space jump.
yes. Yes, that was great. Then she did another one. She had to go right to her and do another one, which is great.
Yeah.
And I was loving it with the engineer, who we know is the prince on the planet, who can't have sex because then he'll have to go back and rule his planet. And so
Yeah.
I wrote down in my notes like, well, he was so excited to go down there, and I'm like, well, I guess he can just enjoy the sunshine and the Mai Tais or whatever. But at one point, Rance even said, "Don't become king" or something like that, because you're supposed to tell him not to have sex.
Right.
I'm really enjoying the Tendi arc this season.
Yeah.
With her
Yeah.
going into first officer or science officer training. That's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how she progresses this season.
Yeah, me too.
I'm loving seeing her more confident than she was in the first season. She's grown a lot already, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, and I enjoy just watching the characters. They have really interesting. I'm enjoying Mariner sort of being on a shorter leash this year.
Yeah.
Yes,
you know,
that
agreed.
is a change that surprised me. Yeah, that change surprised me. Only because they've clamped down on her. That's what you're saying. They've clamped down on her in ways we've never really seen like this. And even Ransom, who's kind of a he's kind of the first officer. He's comic relief, but even he's pretty serious with this. So that was a tonal shift I was slightly surprised by, which actually does make sense, because at the same time we were kind of saying, how long could she keep acting like this and being like an eternal?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, she's got to grow past that at some point,
right?
Or it just becomes unbelievable,
right?
So I'm really liking seeing the way that she's developed as well.
Right. Alan, you said something that I found interesting about Tendi, because we know from what they've shown now that Orion women actually have incredible confidence typically, and then of course they have those pheromones that work on a whole bunch of races, and we've seen Tendi one time kind of almost fake it when she was acting like they expect her to act. So that's a very interesting character study, because is Tendi unusually shy for an Orion woman? Is she just holding it back because she's in the Federation? Do Orion women in the Federation have to sign some kind of thing like what's her name did in the motion picture, where they don't put their pheromones out?
Not.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's very interesting, because she could pretty much almost run the ship just by throwing her pheromones out. So it's a very interesting. I was thinking about that today.
Well, it could be too that we've just been seeing a very limited viewpoint on the Orion culture all this time.
That's true.
You know, we're seeing the ones who were involved in the adventures that we've seen, but I mean, maybe the average Orion is just like working at a bank, just going about life.
I mean, right, exactly. We see the characters that the Enterprise encounters. We don't see the average everyday Orion mom raising her kids, that kind of stuff.
Right. So the average Orion woman doesn't come home and call her husband a worm and hit him and make him.
I mean, she might.
Well, she might. Hopefully, consensually.
Yep.
Right. I gotta say, I laughed out loud at the end when they were getting ready to sacrifice them to the volcano, and she's like, "What was it? A psychic baby, an evil computer, and the volcano?"
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Overkill.
No, they have a system of checks and balances.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
That was great.
That's awesome.
It was great. Yeah, the psychic baby killed me. And it was so funny when they were whole thing, like when they said, "How dare you walk into the temple without showing your navel?" And then he says, "Show your navel," and then somehow that became a problem. And then what's his name had an Audi, and that was even worse.
Right.
It just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
There's a couple of comments that I've gotten that all pertain to the next episode, so I'm saving them until we get there.
Okay.
Well, do you guys want to go ahead and swerve into that, or do you have something else to say about Batless and Binox?
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a very funny episode. I actually laughed much more on this one than I did the season premiere. That's not to say the season premiere was bad, but I laughed much more on this one. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, well, let's get on to, I think it was called Mining the Mind's Mines. Am I remembering that correctly?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Mining the Mind's Mine. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll say that I think this is my least favorite episode of the season so far. And it's sort of falling back on some things that sort of Lower Decks does periodically, where just the characters just seem incompetent and they get humor out of the characters seeming incompetent. And I don't really care for that. That's like that aspect of Lower Decks that I struggle with the most.
Yeah.
Is people not seeming to know what they're. I like them to be competent Starfleet officers, and you find humor in their situations,
right,
rather than just being dumb.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Which way were they being dumb that you didn't like?
Well, I didn't think that
slamming dunks into the things.
Oh, I see.
and
what
then
you're
like breaking them
Yeah.
open and then turning into stone and breaking off its arms.
Yeah, things like that. I didn't think that Captain Freeman was portrayed particularly well,
Yeah.
and
I agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
that
oh.
whole scene that stretched out through the episode really was not
It's
good.
really weird.
Yeah. I
agree with you. It was strangely slapstick because no Federation captain would turn down something from someone like that.
But no Starfleet captain would keep an argument like that going in front
Right.
of people that you're supposed to be
Exactly.
negotiating with for that long. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
dumb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That goes back to the first season where Mariner just does this long, exaggerated yawn in the middle of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's things like that that would never happen.
Right.
That
I do
drive
agree.
me nuts.
I do agree. That was a little slapstick because that's like
Yeah.
First Contact or Contact 101. Somebody gives you
Yeah.
something, you take it. I mean, wars have been started for not taking stuff, you know? So
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
that and also then and it's funny, you guys, I hadn't really thought about it, but now I'm thinking about the things he said, like calling her old school in front of everybody and kind of disrespecting her, which kind of
Yeah.
made no sense. It's not like she's Picard's age, for that matter.
Yeah, but there's definitely an age difference between the two of them. So
Mhm, mhm.
to him, she probably isn't any different than Picard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
You know how
That
those
being-
young bucks are.
Yeah. That being said, I still enjoyed the episode. I thought I got a lot of laughs out of it.
Yeah. I always enjoy Lower Decks, but
Yeah.
you know, I like certain things that I feel like are their strengths and certain things that I feel like they're not. And yeah, I mean, if you're the captain of a starship, even if it's the least important ship in the fleet, there's some level of competency that you should have to have attained
Right.
the role.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
I do like finding out that at least among the California classes, Cerritos is like the top dog and
Yeah.
has a reputation amongst the
Yeah.
other California class ships. And I really enjoyed the two lower decks crews kind of working together to solve the dilemma of the episode. So I mean, I thought it balanced itself out pretty well.
I did like that. I thought the way that they started off the episode where they were like being snotty and
Yeah.
acting like they were better did not mesh with the, oh no, we were just trying to show off for you guys.
Mm.
Because
Right.
that did not mesh together at all. for
Yeah.
me.
You know, the little bait and switch didn't work for you.
No. At all.
Okay.
Not at all.
I did like the silicate life forms. I thought it was funny because in the midst of a jokey show, I thought that guy said something that was actually kind of deep. Is when he said, "What you call silicate life, we just call life," and then he goes,
Mhm.
"You did not seem alive to us."
Right. I love that.
That
That was
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So that's the third silicon life we've seen in Star Trek, I think. The first was the Horta.
Mm-hmm.
The second was not well. The second was some weird, and Alan, you may remember this. There was a weird silicon-based bacterium or something that the Organians used in Enterprise when they introduced the Enterprise, and there was some moon where there was a silicon-based bacterium, and the Organians basically let people come there and get exposed to it because they just want to see how people face death. And yeah, it was weird.
What kind of life form did they decide those little flappy things were in that weird episode with Kirk's brother?
Oh,
You're talking about the space amoeba, not the space amoeba, but the little space brain cells.
Yeah, they were still carbon based.
Oh,
the
okay.
space pancakes.
Yeah,
Right.
they were carbon based. They were just like one part of it, like some brain that spanned, I don't know, light years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
They were
so
beta
let's
silicone.
let's get some of these comments. So Dan would like to know, out of the first 3 episodes, what's our favorite?
I'll say Batless and Binox was my
Yeah,
favorite.
I agree. Of those 3, that one's my favorite.
Ironically, I'm going to say Minding the Mind's Mine was my favorite.
Okay.
You just
Which
like saying
is-
that title.
Yeah, which is weird because for some reason it was everything you guys are saying about making no sense was correct, and usually I criticize things like that. But for some reason, I just let go and laughed, and I think I died when the fantasies turned to nightmares, and I just lost it when I saw the killer clown Klingons with
Right.
bat hands. I mean, that was just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got to see the big space serpent from
Yeah.
the original animated series.
Yeah.
That was
Kukulkan
phenomenal.
or Kuklakan
Yeah.
or however you want to pronounce it.
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. Yeah, whichever.
Kukulkan.
Yeah, it's pronounced a few ways in the episode.
But it's
Right.
it's the name is from the Mayan culture.
Okay, well, you
The-
tell
at
William
the Chichen
Shatner.
Yeah.
Itza, it was Kukulkan.
I know what it's from.
I've been there.
And then we got the big Borg snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was kind of
That was
interesting.
hilarious.
I don't know. I can't decide between these first three. They've all been kind of even for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Matt said that he had difficulty explaining to Leah Brahms to his wife Elaine without spoiling some of the fun moments for when we get there in TNG.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, they just watched Squire of Gothos, so it's going to be a little while.
It's going to be a while, exactly. But they've been jumping around though. So Dan is interested in knowing if we think there's a future together for Mariner and Jennifer. Yeah,
No,
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think
I think that's kinda come out of left
Mariner's
field.
having fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
agree.
Mariner and Jennifer thing, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how a commitment person Mariner is,
She is not.
Right.
but I guess we'll
Yeah.
see what her arc, how
Yeah.
her arc develops. You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
that might be another part of her development this season.
Mhm.
The ransom
Mhm.
stuff, and then going into a relationship. Who knows?
Could be.
I don't. Let's see. Matt says apparently there are still Galaxy class ships in service, and they're still considered an elite position.
Good.
Coasting. Sorry.
They should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because how many years is this after TNG?
Uh,
It's not a
probably
whole lot.
19 years. I think we're around not 19, maybe 17 years after Encounter at Farpoint.
Okay.
Because that was 2364, and I think we're in 2381 now.
Yeah, so I mean the Enterprise, Kirk's Enterprise was 20 years old, and they were just thinking about retiring it. And then of course, what's the one is the Reliant class that never seems to go away?
Yeah, I mean the Galaxy class should be in service for like 100 years. Like,
Yeah,
realistically, that ship should be
Yeah.
top of the line for a while.
Yeah.
right.
Dan
What was the
enjoyed.
Enterprise? I'm sorry, what was the Enterprise B? What class was that? The big workhorse?
The B was an Excelsior.
Excelsior. That thing's been around for freaking ever, right?
Yes.
You know, that
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that. You see that in battles. Then, of course, Klingon Bird of Prey doesn't ever seem to go away.
Nope, because they had those expensive models from the movies.
Right.
Right.
Dan
Right.
Leckie enjoyed seeing the USS Hood again.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Matt
yeah.
Matt casts his vote. He says, I can make a case for any of the three, but the transporter officer makes Grounded my favorite so far.
Awesome. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
I love when they can build out the world of Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love seeing new planets, and I love seeing things like the psychic baby and the volcano and the computer. I love that, but I also just love seeing Bozeman and finding
Yeah.
out that there's just like weird old guys that work in transporter rooms, and
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
You're right. I do think that's my favorite of the three so far.
Grounded.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
It
And
was really good.
yeah. And even if the second one had all that Martok, which that should sway me, that should weigh heavily in favor for me because I love Martok. But yeah, that first one I just loved it. I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strong season so far.
Yeah.
I
As I
like,
would expect.
So
Yeah.
I like it when the group from the other crew, when they were all running, the one alien guy says, I laughed. He said, "I think I pulled my dominant groin." I'm not really sure what kind of anatomy we're talking about. But
Yeah.
that was
I
another
thought
little-
he said dominant, right?
yeah, dominant groin. Yeah, what's
Yeah,
that?
that's interesting.
Uh-huh.
How many does he have?
Just one of those little things they throw in there. And
Yeah.
again, it's so funny because it's silly, but at the same time, isn't that what Star Trek is supposed to be about? Which is aliens
Yeah.
are not like us, and so it's a funny thing, but it's also kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Exactly.
Like Balkans with two eyelids and Worf with evidently Klingons have redundant everything.
Yeah. Including groins.
And
Yeah.
sometimes things will, something on like Lower Decks will strike me as being too silly or too out of the realm for Star Trek.
Mhm,
But then, like
mhm.
last night, I was looking for Paramount in all the wrong places, and Quark's like, "Love, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing."
Thank you.
You know, I'm like, if that
One of
happened on
my-
Lower Decks, I would complain about it on the show.
One of my favorite Quark lines ever. The first time I saw that episode, I laughed so hard.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
Let's
Star Trek
see.
can be silly.
Dan says the Icarus Factor, which is an episode we shall never speak of again.
Ooh,
The
boy.
Jem'Hadar generations. I feel like we've seen a lot of Galaxy class ships getting decimated. Yeah, but they just
Yeah.
gonna keep building them.
Yeah. Well, the Constitutions had the same problem in the original series.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
You know, you're gonna have a ship like the hero ship getting destroyed because then it shows how dangerous everything is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like
Right.
with the Jem'Hadar, it's like we'll show how bad the Jem'Hadar are because they'll destroy a ship like the Enterprise D, which was our hero
Right.
ship until like
Right.
last year.
Yeah, which was the whole mindset between having Worf get beat up all the time,
Right.
to show you just how strong somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of starships, does anybody know what the new top of the line starship would be at the time of Lower Decks? What was the what was the Enterprise E? I'm blanking on what that
It was
was.
a Sovereign class ship.
Yeah,
Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
But
there
the-
would be something beyond that, right? I guess. Or
Well,
would
the
there?
USS Obana looked like a
Uh-huh.
cross between the Sovereign and the Excelsior, and that looked like it was sort of a follow up to that. To me, that was in the season finale last year. That was what's her face's ship that got disabled at that planet. And they had to go save,
Mhm.
but it was very Sovereign class looking to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it looks like that
Yeah.
design lineage is continuing on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, any final thoughts about Lower Decks?
Hilarious as always.
Yeah.
Cranking right along.
Absolutely
Yeah.
enjoying it. I think that their writing is really sure, and they really got the world down. And
Yeah.
I think, matter of fact, I think all the Star Trek shows, even Picard, it looks like you really feel Star Trek is back. Whether
Yes.
you like all of it or not, it really feels like the days when Berman and Braga were running it, and whether you liked it or not, you saw that it was a universe that they were putting together. And I'm finally
Right.
to that point where I feel that now with Star Trek, all of the episodes,
Yeah.
all the series.
And then, I mean, coming up, we've got like Lower Decks not right now, obviously. And then October 27th, we've got Prodigy.
Yep.
And then February 16th, Star Trek Picard season 3. We're not
Can't
sure
wait.
if there's going to be anything else in between or not, or how many Prodigy episodes we're getting, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then it just said 2023 for Strange New Worlds. And it occurred to me after we moved on that we never talked about there's a Strange New Worlds clip. And they were going back to Rigel 7.
I thought we did talk about that. Or
I don't remember talking about Rigel 7. I would remember that.
oh, okay.
There was a
Rigel
clip from
7?
Strange. Yeah, there was a clip from Strange New Worlds, and they were getting dressed up like Kalarians, they called them, to head down to Rigel 7. And Ortegas was going to get to go on the landing party, but didn't get to at the last minute. So
Is Rigel 7 the one that Pike references in The Cage?
that's the one with the Kalar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he fought that dude with the funny teeth and all,
Yeah,
all
that
that.
was
Yeah.
the Kalar.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Not
So-
Worf's ex-wife. Sorry.
That's all right.
Before we go, Dan is wondering if it was ever established anywhere, even in extended media, what class Enterprise F is.
There is an Enterprise F in Star Trek Online. I don't
Enterprise
remember
F?
I don't.
That.
Yeah, I don't play Star Trek Online, and I don't remember what the class name is, but there is one, and I think, if I remember correctly, that ship class was used for Picard's ship in the Picard comic. But as far as an Enterprise F, like the next gen relaunch novels didn't get that far. It was up to Enterprise E still.
Okay.
So now whether one's ever been introduced that I don't know about, possibly, but the most famous one is from Star Trek Online, and maybe they'll go with it, maybe they won't.
And according to Memory Beta, it is the Odyssey class.
Okay.
Odyssey.
It's pretty cool. It looks
Odyssey.
more advanced than the Enterprise E to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The Odyssey was the name of the Galaxy class ship that was destroyed by the Jem'Hadar in Deep Space Nine. So I wonder if that was named for that.
Oh,
Maybe.
interesting. Yeah, could
Yeah.
be.
Remember when they first battled the Jem'Hadar and two Jem'Hadar ships ran into the Odyssey and blew it up?
And it had the worst Galaxy class bridge.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and And the actor who played the Captain Odyssey was one of the Rudy Wells from the $6 Million Man series. I know that guy because he's like Man at Arms and He-Man and everything else. But yeah, I remember that ship was named the Odyssey. So I wonder if it was named in honor of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Dan is expanding on that by saying that Terry Matalas has heavily hinted that the Enterprise F will be one of the 2 Enterprises in Picard Season 3.
Interesting.
That's true.
I know very little past that. And the only other Enterprise I know about from the future was that not very well liked. Was it the Enterprise J, that incredibly slim one from the series Enterprise Future that nobody likes?
Well, it has its fans. People do like the Enterprise J, but
really,
we're not that far into the future yet. Discovery is for Discovery. It's in the past, if it exists. That was a weird timeline thing going on.
yeah.
It was an alternate timeline. So who knows if it really exists? So I don't know. Okay. Any closing thoughts from anybody else?
Do we have a question of the week or not this week?
Oh, no, I didn't even think about getting one because we had so much stuff to talk about.
We had a big week, but we actually made it. We actually made it on time.
I know, and we actually would have had time for one had I thought to look for one.
We'll get it next time.
Well, yeah. Next time we'll go 5 minutes extra.
Okay.
All right, Alan, where can people find more of you?
Well, I have a podcast called Modern Musicology, and we just released an episode reviewing the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert that took place at Wembley Stadium on January 3rd. And our next episode is going to feature an interview with a truly iconic 80s rock figure.
Wow.
I would tell you, but what the line I'm supposed to say is, our lips are sealed.
Okay.
Also, I also have my little publishing company, Cosmic Press, KOZMIC Press. You can find that at cosmicpress.com. You can find it at Facebook. You can find it at Instagram. You can find it at Twitter. There you go.
And how about you, Keith?
You can find me on Instagram sometimes, Twitter sometimes, and Facebook.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm back.
Back with a vengeance. You're going to see so many posts on the
trust me, you are.
Right, on the ESO Network Facebook group. It's going to be all Keith all the time.
But now I got to go back and make sure when I post something, nobody else has posted it already because I'm way behind.
Yeah, people have stepped up, man, to take up the slack.
Right. And how about you? How about us, Veronica?
Feltnerdy.com.
And
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
That's right. And if you're in the Atlanta area, we've got a lot of puppet shows coming up. We've been booking some puppet shows. So next up, we're going to be at the Aurora Theater in Lawrenceville. We're doing 2 shows on September the 17th, 2 of the same show.
Yes.
Because I said that at every single one of our shows this weekend, and Veronica corrected me in front of a crowd every single time. That's the great thing about performing with your wife.
After the first one, someone asked, is it 2 different shows? So I was making sure it was clarified.
Well, I can just buy 2 tickets and find out.
Exactly.
So that'll be September the 17th, and then we've got more shows coming up after that. So we'll keep talking about that as that gets closer. But no, let's go ahead and talk about, we're also on October, I believe that Sunday is October the 9th. We're going to be making a return to the Sinful Sundays Burlesque show at the Red Light Cafe. Wow. So we've got a family-friendly show coming up in Lawrenceville, and then we've got another burlesque show that will be not family-friendly coming up.
And I'm sure there will be a puppet slam at some point in October.
If October the 9th is the wrong date, it's the Sunday that week. Yes. So I think it's the 9th. But we've got those 2 things coming up. And do you have a closing for us this week?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
I thought of it a few seconds ago.
Well, hit it. Do
or do not. There is no try.
Okay.
What?
That's a Star Trek?
No.
Wow.
It didn't have to be a Star Trek quote.
Okay. Yeah.
Or for the show. It's a closing.
Great job.
I mean, it could be a Monkey's lyric, I guess. Next time, that's what it'll be.
I thought of it.
I love it.
All right. So happy Star Trek Day, everybody.
All right. And
Take
thanks
care,
y'all for participating.
Thanks for watching. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you around next Thursday.
Good night, all.